Today, we remember three extraordinary young lives cut short in a tragic attack. Ivan, Ashna, and Ethan were childhood best friends, united by their love and passion for journalism. Through the eyes of their families, will now trace their journeys from childhood dreams to a heartbreaking and gut wrenching end. So, let us first hear from Ivan's mother.
The kids always had a special bond, but it was their love for journalism that deepened their friendship. I still vividly remember when my son came and told me that they had all decided to be journalists together.
Hey guys, do you remember those days we used to pretend to be news reporters and interview each other?
Of course. I remember when we used to make your stuffed animals be the subject for our ridiculous questions.
Yeah, but it was fun. It felt good to be the bearers of truth, the ones who had the right and duty to question those in power.
Yeah, for some reason, I thought it was meant to be as if.
As if that's your purpose? I understand that feeling very well.
Well then, let's be what we feel we are destined to be, the bearers of truth in this society, together.
Together.
Ethan wasn't always a kid who took his studies seriously, but with his dedication and a little help from Ivan and Ashna, he worked hard and succeeded.
The three of them were the highest scorers of their batch.
I still remember how three of them sat together applying for universities.
Hey guys, what should I do? What colleges should I apply for?
Well, it depends on what you want to study. Journalism has many parts to it. Sports journalism, investigative journalism, fashion journalism, broadcast. To become a journalist after 12th, you can take entrance exams, pursue a journalism course, develop your skills, intern, or find a job.
Don't dump it all on him. He's already confused. Ethan, I know people say you should have your whole lives planned out, but sometimes fate has its own plans. So why don't we go step by step, together, remember?
Well then, here, take a look at my list. In India, my universities which I opt for are IIMC New Delhi and Makanlal Chaturvedi National University of Journalism and Communication, Bhopal, which offer courses like BA in Journalism and BA in Mass Communication. Whereas abroad, I would like to go for Columbia University of USA or University of California, Berkeley, USA, which offer courses like BA in Media Studies.
All these colleges in India require you to have finished your studies till the 12th grade, give university-specific entrance exams, and give personal interviews.
Whereas the ones abroad require you to have high school diplomas, except LSE, which requires A levels or equivalent. Most of them just need you to have a strong academic record. But the universities of California and Columbia require you to give SATs or ACTs. But all of them require personal statements, letter of recommendation, and interviews.
Ethan, I think you should look into scholarships too.
After days of waiting, they all got into the same university, studying BA in journalism and mass communication. Later, Ethan and Ivan did their MA in journalism, whereas Ashna did her Doctor of Philosophy in journalism. Later on, they all went on to be news reporters.
Ethan, Ashna, I got 3 job offers. Which one should I choose?
Look, the normal salary of a reporter is around 6 to 7 lakhs per annum, but definitely the one that pays more.
No, don't listen to him. There are many more things to consider other than financial factors. Factors such as work environment, company stability, work flexibility, and work-life balance. Also, look into benefit packages to see if they provide paid time off, retirement plans, and such additional perks. While financial stability is important, there are many more things to consider other than financial factors.
Thanks, Ashna. What would we do without you?
The details of the attack are too gruesome to be portrayed. But all that can be said is that Ivan, Ashna, and Ethan were one of the best at their professions. And for that, they were targeted, attacked, and killed. They weren't the bearers of bad news or pain. They were simply the bearers of the truth. They were the messengers who fought the battle of words, but in the end were lost to arms. May their legacy live on. This is your reporter, Vedehi, signing off.
We are fortunate that in a democratic country, citizens have the right to question. But sometimes, even though we have that right, we unfortunately aren't heard. That is just one of the places where journalists come in. They become the voice of those who are deprived and unheard, sometimes without even caring if their name or even life is at stake. They become the bearers of truth. It's just sad that when we lose such people, no one mourns. No one is even aware. We seem to forget what power journalists hold, because unless they question the wrongdoings of those in power, they aren't even corrected. And yet we just view them as invasive. That is the reason we, the students of class 9D, were here to present this career education program, not only to show the careers in journalism as a future career choice, but as a tribute to those who have the courage to question those in society and in power. Because journalism is not just about how, what, when. It is also simply, but sometimes, most importantly, about why. Thank you.
I would now request Chirag and Neil Dasar to escort our guests to the stage.
Thank you, Vrusha.
Today, we have amid us Mr. William Charles D'Souza, who is a seasoned journalist with over 2 decades in business reporting and editing for leading publications. Recently transitioned into a corporate communications role. Kindly give him a huge round of applause.
I would now like to call Mr. William Charles D'Souza to enlighten us with his insights on journalism.
Good morning, all. Okay, now this is a ritual which every other assembly does. I'm sorry I have to go through it again. Good morning, all. Good morning, sir. I thought Don Bosco kids wouldn't need this. You're always so energetic and all that. But come on, let's now not take too much time, because I would like to take this opportunity to also throw open the floor to cater to any questions you might have. But of course, what you guys saw over here was pretty spot on. My compliments to the organizers. Even as far back as that welcome thing I got, it had very good snippets about journalism industry on its own. So I would urge each one of you to see that later. It is a very good snapshot of the industry. Now, let's go on to the first slide. Okay, this guy over here, because this is your side. Who can tell me Superman's, yes, everyone knows Superman. Who can tell me Superman's secret name and what he was doing? And what was he doing? Journalism. Spot on. Clark Kent, journalism. Do you remember his paper? Daily Planet. Am I right? Okay. This side, who's the other guy? Secret name? What was he doing? Sorry? He's a news photographer, right? And I think his paper was Daily Bugle, right? Okay. Now these guys were superheroes. They became secret, as Batman said in one movie, you wear the mask not for yourself but for those whom you love, you know. So similar is the case in journalism, but you don't need to be superheroes. You do pretty much faceless work. Next slide, please. Raise your hands. Can anyone tell me anything about this? And Sorry? Okay, Ajmal Kasar. Who's he? Yeah, terrorists who attack what? That's better. 26th November 2008. 4 or 5 days of rampage. I don't know, I forget now, 250, 300 people lost their lives across age groups, across religions, all innocent victims, of course. And does anyone know the headline on the left? Okay, let me tell you. So, what I'm trying to prove over here by bringing these two images right after the superheroes is you don't need to be a superhero to be, and indeed in all careers, especially if you are facing danger whenever you do. It could be a house on fire, it could be you're at the border, you become soldiers or something, or in a case like this, you are supposed to be taking photos of some function, some assembly or something, and suddenly you got this guy with an AK-47 firing some weapon which can fire 600 bullets a minute, and you go over there and you take a photo which has made him absolutely famous. On the left, there was this girl, Jessica. She was in a bar. She shut off this guy who happened to be the son of a very prominent politician. This happened 25 years ago. And that guy became angry, pulled out a gun. He was armed. He aimed the gun at her temple and said, "Give me another drink or I'm going to shoot you." She said no. Very brave of her, but she said no. This guy fired. And he wanted to fire over the head. But the gun, that's why they say gun violence is such a thing that you have to control. It has a recoil, and you might think you can fire someday and all. No, you need a lot of training for it. Definitely not a guy, a politician's son can just control the thing. The bullet hit her temple. She was gone. Now this guy had a lot of clout. His father, actually. And see the sub-headline below that. I don't know if you guys can read it, so I will read it. "No one killed Jessica," that's the main headline. And below, 7 years after model's murder, she was also a model, but she was working in that bar for a pocket money. 7 years after model's murder, all accused let off for lack of evidence. Now does the headline make sense? What is the paper trying to say? Someone killed Jessica. You get that idea, right? But because everyone has been let off the hook, no one killed Jessica. How many over here, just raise your hands, know there's a movie by that name? Okay. A few, not many, a few. A movie was made. Let me tell you the good part. Public opinion came up. They did SMS, that time there was no WhatsApp. They did SMS rounds, they got people, sort of Rang De Basanti, people came to India Gate and they were screaming for justice, and the government couldn't ignore it. And the people were brought to book, that guy was thrown in jail. So the movie was made. And the movie's name was this headline, which was given by Vikas Singh, who was my editor and today he's in charge of North and East Times of India, North and East India. The photo on the right, Sebastian D'Souza, Mumbai Mirror, my colleague over there, very brave of him. And I'll also tell you this Kasab that day when he went on a rampage and he killed some 170 people were killed at BT only, of the 250, 300, the figure I said before. More than half were killed at BT. Sorry, I should say CST now. Only two people Kasab did not fire at that day. There was one lady in a yellow sari with a little potli and she went and this guy was firing. And this is the movement he did. I've seen the CCTV. This is the movement he did. What he did was he let that lady go by. Don't know why. Old lady in a yellow sari. The other person he did not shoot at was Sebastian D'Souza. He saw on the side, Sebastian D'Souza, by the way, this photo has been taken from platform 1 and he's on platform 3-4. It's between 3-4 parked trains. The trains were shut down when the firing started. So between 3-4 parked trains, he's taking this. You don't know this because this photo has been cut like that. A little you zoom out and you'll see the bars you hold at the doorway of train. He was also led. That guy could have easily shot Sebastian. Savvy to us. He could have easily shot Savvy. What was why he let him go? But Savvy also was pretty brave to take this photograph. They are not superheroes. This is Vikas Singh and Savvy and all. They just rose to the occasion, did their duty, and Vikas was trying to send a message here. Savvy was trying to capture the news moment, and that's what they successfully did. Can you read this? It's become a little dark. So what is journalism? Now, very bad first slides to show you, because the very first point I'm trying to make is films have either over-glamorized it or demonized it, whereas it's far from the truth. You will have these exciting moments. You become a sports reporter. You're going to see an India-Pakistan final. Very excited. and a terror attack happens. You have to take that decision. Do I come in the way of the bullets or not? You have to do your duty. But 99% of the time, you have to just pick up the phone like a crime reporter. He picks up the phone, he asks the local police station, "Hi Vishesh." That guy will say, "Arey, aaj yahan robbery hua, wahan accident hua, yahan par ye murder ho gaya." And then you are thinking, you have to have a very calm and critical mind as to, okay, robbery happened. How many lakhs, how many crores were taken? Have the police assessed? You realize, depending on the story magnitude, you decide or you guide the desk which is making the page. It could be a brief or it could be a front page story. That kind of stuff. Of course, there is a lot of hard work over here. Now, you guys, I don't have an idea of the class groups you are here. What class is this? 9. All of you are 9th standard? 9th and 10th. So you're some years away from your career, but let me tell you, according to me, I've spent now 20-25 years in journalism, 17 years in the Times Group. From what I have seen, and this is my personal opinion, let me make it very clear. There are some toughest jobs. I beg your pardon, let me rephrase that. There are some challenging jobs in this world. According to me, the number one is the uniformed personnel. You're a soldier on the border for obvious reasons. Middle of nowhere, paid, yes. The military houses you, clothes you, takes care of your health, educates your children, gives a purpose to you. But see the challenges. You're in the middle of nowhere, either in that frozen desert in LOC this side on China, or that LOC over there getting shot at on the other side. So it becomes very tough. The other uniform personnel, police, 18-hour shifts. You're dealing with chor chakkas, crime and everything, so that is also very tough. But they have a certain honor, respect. If I were to ask you over here, wouldn't you respect a Jawan? Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of nodding heads. So that's the thing. Now, second, according to me, after that, would be the hospitality line. That's the hotel line, the restaurant line. Have you ever thought? You have your Diwali ki chutti, you have your Holi, you tell your parents, let's order out. The Zomato delivery guys or Swiggy delivery guys are running. You go into a hotel, whether it's Taj, Oberoi and all. Oh yes, you'll be paid. You'll be paid very well. You'll be learning a lot, being in suit food, being very good. But also in that, you have to control your temperament. Something goes wrong, and that guy is screaming. And you have to say, "Sorry sir, thank you sir, sorry sir." You cannot fire back, you cannot be angry. In fact, when that attack happened, Kasabwala, Taj staff became heroes world over. Harvard did a study. Those people were putting guests before their lives, and some of them were shot before the guests were. Guests went around the world with such bravery stories of the Taj staff. So the hospitality line is also very challenging. Now, nothing to take away from these lines. I'm telling you, you'll be taken care of. You'll be earning a lot. In the military, the pensions you get is still industry leading. Third would be journalism, according to me. In that, there are categories. Those people over here, they did a wonderful job. That's good. They really gave very nice categories. You had your news, you had your sports, you had your crime, you had your TV journalism, you had your print journalism. So according to me, TV journalism and your website, you will not have a moment to breathe. Whenever you put the TV on, Holi here, Diwali here, there's someone reading the news, someone is somewhere reporting the news, the videos come to you. At least in print journalism, which is where I was, there was no tomorrow, everything is today. I had to finish and I had to get this report, make the page by midnight for printing. TV, there is no later, it's now. And also, that is something that takes away the perspective of the story. In the hurry to get the news out, to be the first, you might lose the perspective of the story. So, I have great news. Well, do you really? That is the challenge in journalism. You have to tell it straight, not great. Remember that. And even in your everyday lives, someone fights somewhere, you're coming to tell another someone, wo school mein, wo class mein, usne aisa jhagda kiya. Mere ko lagta hai, arey, tumhe kya lagta hai, why you want to say? That is your opinion. You put in your opinion. You're giving views, not news. And if you're giving views, not news, that is an editorial. To reach that level, first be a reporter, be a journalist, be a deskie. Once you become a big guy and you ask them, give your opinion or write a piece, do them. Till that time, you should be giving an extremely neutral report. And that is a big challenge. You people don't realize it. Whenever we talk, you don't realize it. Even a simple story that you say, "Aaj school mein kya hua?" You color it with your views. You have to give news, not views, if you are in journalism. So what do you need? Now already we've seen situation, if it demands, you might require bravery. If it doesn't, boy, you need patience. I'll give you a simple story. Ambani ka shaadi abhi ho raha. In fact, pata nahi kab se ho raha tha, but ho raha. So there's one good thing these guys do. Journalists, now the bottom picture, you'll find media is camped out for hours. For one minute, seeing some Amir Khan has landed or some politician has landed, and then they're running back to the OB van. The OB van broadcasts it to the headquarters of the TV thing. If it's a photographer, he connects his dongle, he mails it back to the press. Press, of course, it's a little easier, like I told you earlier. They'll make the page in the night and all. And by the way, I was always a business reporter, so this is not my purview, even if it's Ambani or something. It will be going to Bombay Times and all that stuff, feature side and all. What I'm trying to tell you over here is, imagine the amount of hours, days even, that these people are waiting for that one news moment. When they know it's going to happen, but they don't know when it's going to happen. They don't know when they'll come out. Everyone knows Muhurat, yes, but you don't know what time they're coming out. That Muhurat might be 10 p.m., but they're camping there from 3 p.m., 4 p.m. to see which people are coming in on. Second thing is, God bless the Ambanis, the Bachchans. I've known cases where people are standing outside. Bachchan's house, Jalsa in Juhu, they're standing outside for something. Ambani household over here, Antilla, they're standing out. These guys send out food packets for the press. They send out water bottles for the press. Now, imagine when those guys, the journalists, are standing somewhere else where those people are not so rich. These people have to have their own water bottle or sandwich or biscuit packet or something, which they do. And whatever competition you see in media, people become very good friends. In fact, they go in the same circle. And that will happen in all your careers. If you're going into finance, you'll go from Bajaj Finance to HDFC to ICICI. Same thing happens over here also. From this paper to that channel to this news website, you'll do that. People give biscuits to each other and all, where they don't have some benefactor in front who will give so much refreshments. But the point I'm trying to make over here is, that thing I told you earlier, 99%, 90% is very routine, it's the bottom picture. In fact, you should pray that the top picture never ever comes into your life in any career. This, by the way, the top one will always happen. You'll have pressure in every place. Suddenly there's a deadline and you don't know what to do. So you need to have that temperament to take both. When needed, completely up your game, meet the deadlines. And in fact, let me tell you another thing. If you were to help your people in your team and all that, you will be the ones who become absolutely the team leader, manager, and go on to become the MD and CEO. So you should learn when to do that. Aim for work-life balance, but also know when you have to up the game. Now, there is one very important thing over here. You need to be well-read. Can I again ask for a show of hands? How many over here get a newspaper daily in their house? This is impressive. I thought it would be lesser. This is good. Now, my next question. How many of you read the front page of that newspaper every day? Let it be. Now, I'll tell you why I'm saying that. Let me give you an example. 2 weeks ago, the central government, Delhi, they decided that they're going to lift the ban on the export of rice, non-basmati rice to abroad. They had brought the ban in because they wanted domestic people to have the supply. If export was going, you will not have the rice. So they said, now there's enough rice production. We had good grains and all that. So they lifted the ban. That happened on a Saturday. On Monday morning, the rice exporter company shares shot up. Only those people who read the news knew that they would be able to make money over there. I'm telling you again and again. Throughout your life, remember this. Information is power, knowledge is power. And don't worry about newspaper. No? That was just a question. I was trying to assess your access to information. You've now got Google News, you've got so many other things. Read. And I don't care if you're reading communism, you're reading some RSS magazine, you're reading some Congress thing or BJP thing. Read. Because I'll tell you something. Haven't you ever noticed in your life, if your teacher in front is saying something, some question pops up always in your mind. You might not voice that question. If someone says, Gupta Empire was like that, Chola was like that, Mughals did this, some question always comes in your mind. You will always realize that you are curious by your inherent nature. If someone says, Taj Mahal inhone banaya, you might have query. Sahi mein banaya? Nahi banaya? All those controversies go on and on. So read. You will form your own opinions. I'm telling you, it is going to help you in your life. When you have information, there are practical applications of the same. Something which is beneficial to someone. And I'll tell you now, you're entering, in fact, we've already entered, an information age. Only those who have studied very well those who have really performed well, and more importantly, this is the important part, you are able to retain that information so that you know when to apply that information, will be going ahead in life. Now, if you don't do that, if you don't get into that habit, it will be really tough. You must make reading a habit. Go ahead and read website, go ahead and read a newspaper, go ahead and read a magazine, but read, keep reading. Don't lose that reading habit. It's going to hold you in good stead in future. Always mark my words. Because others around you now, you'll find those people who are non-performers and you are a performer, the only thing which is making a difference is your knowledge. So you must absorb knowledge as much as you can, especially now in this age when you can. Later on, it doesn't go in. Even if you read 10 times, you might not retain. So what do you get if you become a journalist? Well, you travel. I went on Times sent me for reporting to Switzerland, Malta, London, Germany. I would never have got that in any other place. And best part is, by the time as I rose through the ranks, I was no longer a reporter, I was a deskie. But Times, the editor was so good, he had a big Excel sheet. There were 100, 150 of us in the Mumbai press office only. Overall, we have some hundreds and hundreds around the country. I left the organization last year after 13 years in Times alone. He would see that Excel sheet and he would realize, William has not been anywhere in 2-3 years. Where's the next thing? Which invite would come, one foreign invite would come for a press conference. He would see who is next due. He had a very nice Excel sheet, and once you went out for that event, of course, it's work, you file the report and all. But to go abroad and all, it was a very nice privilege. You come back, it still is for many people. You come back, you file the report, and then there's a tick mark, this guy's gone. For 2 years, he will not look at you because I gave you the chance. Everywhere else, it's the reporters who are only going. Like the telecom reporter, he's going to the Samsung plant in Korea, iPhone, some headquarters, Apple guy in Cupertino, wherever it is in the valley in US. So, not in Times. Times he would rotate. Well, a reporter, you will go whenever you need to go, when there's a certain important thing or urgent thing. But deskies should also get a chance. So you get to travel a lot. Next thing that you get to do, and which is very good, I think, that journalism gives, is that opportunity to meet MDs, CEOs, top politicians. And there is a plus point of that. Pretty soon, oh, by the way, you have to be good to be sent. I mean, if you're not performing well, you're not writing well, your report and all, you need to know you will not be chosen to go to that press conference and interview that person and all. If you're really good, you've got a presence, a command of a language, any language, don't make the mistake of English. You're very good in Hindi Marathi, you'll do very well in Hindi Marathi media. So do not worry about English and all that. So you need to have good command of language, confidence, and once you get that, you are noticed. One thing in your life you know pretty well is that if you're good, no one can stop you. Any career. If you're really good, no one can stop you. So someone will say, listen, you're good, why did you go to that press conference and all? Later on in life, what happens is when you go into corporate communications or public relations or some other line after journalism, those guys, the owners are dealing with you. Whenever they want to talk to some media or someone, they are always calling the corporate communicator. And the corporate communicator, because of being used to talking to big MPCOs all their lives, are very pally with them. They don't get cold feet, they don't shiver with fright, nothing like that. Because you already learned in your young age in journalism how to talk to seniors. Another plus point is the deadline pressure. Newspapers tonight, TV channels immediate, website even worse. You have to tweet, speed news, all that stuff. You learn to fire reports very fast. Now you guys right now must be having so many reports that you have, like teacher says, this is the homework you have to give it by so-and-so day. Or you've got so-and-so things to do. In journalism, you learn to do it like that. If you don't learn to do it like that, you're out. And I'll tell you one thing, that really helps you in the corporate world. Now in the corporate communications line, someone says write a report. The only reason I'm able to do it very quickly, and of course I have to do speed and accuracy, both accuracy and speed. The only reason I've done some fast reports in my life is because of my years in journalism. That also is a very, very good advantage when you're able to be very fast. Now, money also, someone over here said very rightly so, I don't know who, whether he or someone, I don't know. I've confused the names about the money part. 6 lakhs, and how nicely they said the financial portfolio. The financial sector, financial aspects are not that important. A very important thing when you go into any line. Someone will give you 3 lakhs, 6 lakhs, it translates into 50,000 a month. You'll be thinking, oh no, I wanted 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs. But what happens if you get stuck at that for all your life? You must look at the brand, you must look at the learning ability, you must look at the seniors that are there who will be able to impart and transfer the knowledge to you. across any industry. So money in the beginning is low, and once you rise through the ranks, you get good payment in media. But boy, I'm telling you again and again, the hard work that is involved, you'll be working on Holi, Diwali, everything. Newspapers in Mumbai have got 5 press holidays. Ganesh Chaturthi and Resurgam. Diwali and Holi the day before. Huh? Why day before? Because on Holi, the newspaper vendors don't want to distribute the paper, they want to play Holi. So you get Chutti the previous day. There is no paper on Holi. And on Holi, through the colors, people playing colors will be going to press to work. Okay? And the last Chutti we get in Bombay is Republic Day. Delhi, only 2, Diwali and Holi. So they are working 363 days a year, we 360 days a year. News, TV news, not even that much. They are on 24/7. Any Holi Diwali put it on. So you need to know about that. Same as the case with police, army, so you need to know what if you are looking for a work-life balance, in the beginning it will be tough. Later on, juniors will come in, you can delegate. That's a very important line you have to learn in your career. Delegation. Team playing and delegation, so that you can pass on your responsibilities, share your responsibilities, and remember one line. The failures of the team are your failures. The success of the team is the success of the team member. You do something like that and you become a good boss, and all your life those people will want you only as a boss. So remember those things. So now, what is happening in journalism today? There's a bit of a flux. Everything is going to the primary device, the mobile phone. Newspapers have done quite a big transition, e-papers, everything and all that. And you have TV channels also going over there. If that thing is successful, which I think most have managed, it's pretty good. You will be able to really kind of make a successful transition over there. But you need to know video editing. Now, I think you children are already very good and tech savvy, at least that's the impression I've got from most kids. You need to kind of learn video editing and you'll really be good. Well, everyone wants to know there is a future. Everyone wants to have information at their hands. You need to build credibility, but you cannot go some financial or sort of fashion influencer way where you're only struggling for eyeballs. You need to talk to people, get balanced story out, both sides of the story, and then people will follow you because they know this is good. Even today, someone says Times of India, NDTV, CNBC, they know they're getting a good information because they know the reputation. That is what you have to watch out for. Even people like anti-establishment people like Dhruv Rathi and all, those people have also got such a big following. Why? Because people know the research they're doing. What does he do? It's journalism. It's journalism at the very end of it, at the very base of it. That's it. Thank you so much, guys. You've been great.
Would anyone in the audience like to question our guest?
Anyone has any questions? Something I've not covered or breezed through?
Good morning, sir. I'm Pratik. I just wanted to ask you that with AI coming into journalism, do you think that it will complement humans or change the very fundamentals of investigative journalism?
Very good question, Pratik. And in this stage, a very good question is actually a compliment. But remember, please sit down. But remember in your lives, in a press conference, if the guy in front says, very good question, it is the worst question. Because he found it easy to answer. And as they gave me on that welcome thing, over there it's written, journalism is something that others don't want printed. That's very true. But this is a good question, and this is something I now realize I completely skipped. Such a big elephant in the room, and I did not talk about it. This is the answer. In this day and age, AI is nowhere near replacing journalism. Definitely not investigative journalism, I think even in the future, unless some Star Wars types robots come who can go and ask questions everywhere and all. In this day and age, that AI is very good complementary tool. I would suggest you should learn AI. You should use your ChatGPT, Gemini, and your Copilot or whatever Microsoft offers. So why you need to learn all tools? You need to learn how they're good and bad. And in AI, I'll tell you one simple problem I have with it, and so do a lot of people. It just uses too many adjectives. Have you ever seen? It's like it's taken a kilo of adjectives like that and thrown into the essay. If I were to write something, it will be completely much more simpler. And by the way, there is this phrase, you must have heard of it, KISS, K-I-S-S, keep it simple, stupid. Right? I mean, if I were to say a simple essay, write something on tomato or write something on the rains in AI, my God, the amount of adjectives it uses. Now, this is, again, I'm saying there's a caveat. This is in this day and age, today. That thing is evolving so frighteningly fast. Maybe in 4-5 years, it will write very human type. They're already getting the feedback, how much it is going overboard. So they will tone it down. Then, the questions part, investigative part. I don't think AI will ever replace that. That is the critical thinking, analytical thinking. How does an AI know when a policeman tells me that this robbery happened, so much damage happened, so much casualties happened, or this fire happened? You don't leave that formula to an AI. That should we print this or not print this and all that. So AI, I think journalism for 4-5 years, or I don't know how fast it's evolving, AI will not replace. I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. Okay. Just pass it on.
Hello. So, sir, my question is to you is that
Repeat your name.
Suchitra. So, what inspired you to be a good journalist?
Who said I'm good?
No, the way you speak, I think it's fabulous.
Oh, thank you very much. I'll take that as a compliment. I'm physical. So what happened was, most journalists in my day and age, I entered, so in 1995, I joined City Cable Network, which is the ground network of ZTV. You might not know it, it was a cable TV. And I was a cable TV anchor. I was a game show host, TV anchor, VJ, DJ, the entire lot. But all my life, I loved reading, I loved information, and I'm a big World War II freak. So I like all the stuff around World War II, and apart from that, Star Wars and all that stuff. So when I used to do the news reading on that TV channel, I found that far more fulfilling. Learning new things, learning about places, stuff like that. So I left that and went into journalism. And proper journalism, the TV anchor I don't count. Proper journalism started in 2002. So now I left last year. So over 2 decades, 21 years I've been doing this. There are people who have come into journalism only by accident, after they failed at everything else. And why they came over here? Because their language was very good. And that time it used to be MA English and this and that. Not so today. They also did a very good job in giving the institutes, your IMC in Delhi, the other places that you heard and all that. A formal education will set you apart and put you ahead of the line for being picked by media houses. That is true. But that's my question. I only came here because I used to love information and reading. So that's my answer. Anyone else? Yeah, please.
Good morning, sir. I am Bhakti. So, will AI take over print journalism in the future?
No, Bhakti, I don't think so. Because, certain aspects of it. Like suppose I come in and I put in my information that, sit down, please sit down. I put in some information like, I have found from my sources. Now remember these keywords I'm saying, sources. I found from my sources, so-and-so company has defaulted on so-and-so income tax, it's trying to hide, its accounts are like completely haywire, there is some fraud going on, please compose a report. It will do it with the excess adjectives. It will do it. But where will the AI come to know from my sources? The sources are mine. So journalism in the true sense is not going to be replaced by AI. Again, unless some R2D2 or C3PO go out as journalists and go to people and say, hey, tell us about your frauds and tell us about this. But then you also have to learn how to build your sources. At some level, it's also James Bond. A guy is going into, movies have shown how they've gone into some villain's den and taken out, what stockpile of weapons are doing for some terror strike or some documents that this is the thing they smuggled and all that stuff. Some aspects are true, but not always. Again and again, I'm saying that thing to you. Kai Vishesh, it's a very boring job at times. You ask a soldier also, he'll tell you what is war, death and destruction. What is the army life? 99% boredom, 1% death and destruction. That's how it is. It's the case in every career. So over here also, I'm not saying that this is boring and all. Look at the amount of achievements you can do in journalism. You get awards. If you go to TV, you're a household name. You're famous, but you should learn how to discern, how to keep your sources. In fact, sometimes I think if you're too famous, how do you even go into incognito into a company, trying to get information and all that? So it has its pros and cons.
Sir, if you were not a journalist, my name is Shanai, sir.
Sorry?
Shanai. Sir, if you were not a journalist, sir, and you could be anything else, what would you be?
Well, I was, that might explain why I kept on saying the defense examples. The D'Souza's have got 4 army officers, 2 Air Force officers, 3 Air Force officers, all retired now. Their children are all in civil services and all that. So I was looking towards going into the defense services. But it didn't happen. I went a little under on my academics. And if I were to join, I could have joined and not reached that high. So I wanted to be somewhere else and not that low in office or whatever cadre. So I dropped that idea. It would have been defense.
Friends, if any other questions, please write it down on a piece of paper and we will pass it to the guests.
Thank you guys. You've been most wonderful.
I would now like to call Nithika Ganthwal to propose the vote of thanks.
It is said that gratitude sweetens even the smallest moments. With that, I, Nithi, am here to express my sincere gratitude to respected fathers and Principal Mrs. Kalyani Chaudhary for giving us this opportunity to present this career guidance program. A special thanks to our supervisor, Cleona ma'am, for her moral support and our class teacher, Radha ma'am, for her guidance. Thank you, Mr. William Charles D'Souza, for your presence. Also, thank you to the support staff for helping us behind the scenes. Sincere thanks to Nicole for script writing and direction. I would also thank Vaidehi for her assistance. Thank you Atharva Sawant and Aditya Shirke for a creative PowerPoint presentation. Angelina, Christina, Tanushri, Huda, Ira and Runali for the beautiful backdrop and invitation. Trisha for e-invitation. Flow of events by Ashna. Special thanks to all the participants for their efforts and cooperation. All your contributions have proven to be invaluable. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the parents present here. Last but not the least, a heartfelt thanks to our wonderful audience present here. Thank you.
Thank you, Nithi.
I would now request Principal Ma'am to address us.
Good morning, Father, Mr. and Mrs. D'Souza, teachers and students. Thank you, a group realized. What an engaging and interactive session we had this morning. Our gratitudes to Mr. D'Souza for enlightening us on the various pros and cons of this career. Cons or cones? Did I pronounce it wrong? Correct me. Thank you. So when you are writing or when you are reading or when you are speaking, it's important that you know what it is and how it has to be said. Only one or two from here got the error, right? Not everyone. So it's not your geometry code. Since Mr. D'Souza has been associated with the Times of India, and the Times of India is also a very popular newspaper. How many of you still read the Times of India? Why are you not confident in raising your hand if you're reading it? Good. So even if you don't read it, can you tell me what the tagline of the Times of India is? The tagline. Mr. D'Souza mentioned that you have to be well read. So when you open the newspaper, before even you open the newspaper, you have the logo of the newspaper, you have the name of the newspaper, and there is a tagline. So what is the tagline of the Times of India? Most trusted newspaper. How many agree? One more? One more? Guess? I'm not accepting that. Well, that's not the tagline. What is a tagline? And how many of you know that we have 3 newspaper reading stations in school? One at the entrance and one on each floor. 4. Are you aware? There are different newspapers placed there. How many of you have been reading regularly? There's a class award, and this is one of the points. So if you want to be a good class or receive the award, then this is one of the requirements. So would you like to tell us, or should I tell them? So what does journalism do? What does a journalist do? He mentioned through his talk, if you can bring out the tagline. The first thing he mentioned was, and even the children here mentioned, Ashna, Ethan and Ivan. They also mentioned. What is it? Simple 4-word tagline. Still no idea? Yes, that word is there. Who said that? It is there. What are the 3 remaining words? No. Let the truth prevail. Am I right, sir? Is Indian Express. Can you say it loudly? Journalism of courage. That is the tagline of which newspaper? Indian Express. And let the truth prevail is the tagline of the Times of India. So when you read, don't ignore anything that you see. Someone said most trusted newspaper. Even that is written somewhere on it. But that is not the tagline. That is probably to boost the sale of the newspaper. Right? So make use of the opportunities that you have here right in school. You may not have time at home to read the newspaper, even though you receive it. So your school has provided that opportunity. And a well-read person is an acclaimed person in the society. Among any group of friends or your colleagues you interact with. So thank you, Mr. D'Souza, for giving an insight into such a career which I don't think the social media or the digital platform has made a very different projection of what journalism is. Isn't it? You believe on what you receive on WhatsApp. Do you check whether it is true or not? There are websites which will tell you whether what has been said is fake or true. Do you check before you react to any information? So those who wish to take this career up, be fearless. Because you are dealing with truth. And to speak the truth, it requires a lot of courage. Isn't it? Do you agree that lying is easy? So if you wish to take this up as your career, which many of you will, the promise that you make to yourself is, I'll stick to the truth, whatever happens. Thank you once again, Mr. D'Souza. Thank you, children. I hope you have had an enriching morning.
Thank you.